Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Trans Agenda.
We're back.
We're
Our
back.
long hiatus is over.
It was a
Finally,
very long
we have
hiatus.
we have returned from what would you call it? Holiday purgatory.
Yeah, definitely. That's
It's okay.
definitely what I would
We
call it.
fought our way back. And we're here again now. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So, Ash, before we dive into our today's business, how's your Christmas break? How'd it go?
It was
for
good.
you?
I have moved back to my parents' house now because I finished my PhD, which means they won't pay me any money anymore.
No.
No. So I'm now in lovely my old bedroom, which has holes in the wall.
Coming to you from scenic Ash's bedroom, Ash.
Yeah. But it's good. I got to spend so much time with Sarah, which is amazing. She took like 2 months off to just come down from Edinburgh, and we've been hanging out a bunch, which is great. We went to her parents' boat club for New Year's. It was very fancy.
That sounds very upscale, yeah.
It was just a bunch of posh people getting really drunk. It was great.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. And yeah, I've been not doing the work I'm meant to be doing, which is great. It's fantastic.
That's okay. Procrastination is key.
Yes.
What about you? I personally went to Montreal and visited my family.
Nice.
And then it was very cold, and it's still for like a whole week. Canada was in the deepest of deep freezes in the entire universe.
Yeah, I saw that.
There were days where it was colder in Edmonton, here where I live, than it was on Mars.
That's difficult.
That's not a joke. That's real.
That's pretty cold.
Yeah, but there you go.
It's good to know that Canadians could survive on Mars, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, it's all stress testing for our eventual colonization of Mars.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty great. But I had a great Christmas. I bought new LARP things, which is always the most hype for me because I'm a huge nerd.
Aren't we all?
And I visited with my family, who are all super cool and supportive and badass. And You've probably heard about them in episode 1 if you've watched it way back. So you know who they are. I don't need to go over this. All right.
Yeah. You had a deep freeze. I think we had like 1 day of snow, and that was about it.
A single day.
A single day.
Single day of snow.
Yeah. The snow stayed for like 3 days, but it only snowed for 1 day.
Okay. Well, I had more snow than that.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's the national state of Canada. Now,
yes.
Speaking of... Wait, that doesn't work. I can't segue. Speaking of natural states to... I mean, I guess I could.
Yeah.
But anyway, today's... What is today's topic? What are we talking about today, Ash?
Today, obviously, the two of us are the most fashion-forward and gorgeous and beautiful and perfect trans women, and so we are ideally suited for talking about fashion.
You're pouring this on a little bit, I think.
Just a little bit.
But that's all right. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Flattery will get you where you want to go.
Excellent. Yeah, so we're going to talk about fashion and...
By the way, I'm sorry. My microphone was using the wrong microphone. So I hope that this sounds better.
That does sound better.
To all of you in chat who are like, Elf sounds weird. I fixed it.
Well,
Ash didn't tell me I sounded weird.
I didn't realize you sounded weird.
I couldn't fix it, but Zoom was using the wrong microphone.
Well, there we go.
It's okay, we're good now. We're
good now. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about fashion and stuff. I think we're gonna sort of talk about like what our like fashion journeys have been. How we've gone from caterpillar to butterfly.
I mean, if you call this butterfly, then you're damn right. Sure. But yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the first thing to talk about is like us personally, right? This is
Yeah,
always the
yeah,
easiest thing to address, and always, I always try and preface with like anything we say is like based on our experience,
yeah.
not based on the global experience. There is no like giant global experience, though there are several what I would call like thoroughfares through this
Yes.
that many
So,
people travel upon. So yeah. Um, you want to go first, Ash, or should I just keep rambling? Because
um,
I'm on a roll here.
yeah, you sound like you're on a roll.
You
You,
want
you go
okay?
ahead.
You
Yeah.
want me to just hit it up? All right. So I mean, the sort of pathway that I took through figuring out fashion and makeup and blah blah blah, all that other so forth stuff, because you gotta remember we're jumping in, like trans women especially are jumping in on like in this regard are jumping in on like this learning experience where we should have been learning for like 10 years before this, like, all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
that we needed to know, and now we gotta figure it out, right?
Yeah.
um what I will say is that like most folks, including me, go through like awkward adolescent clothing buying phase at the very beginning. You buy stuff that does not work for you. You get things that you're like, that looks fucking cool and super great, and it does not. You may think it does at the time, but just like a teen girl, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always work out, right?
Yeah.
Same shit, basically. Um, for me, it was like, I don't know how to describe exactly how it went. It was like, um, really nervous about getting like feminine clothing, basically, like things that were like more femme. I was super nervous about it to start with.
Mm-hmm.
Then I sort of like broke a threshold where I was like all femme all the time for a little while. And that didn't really work for me. I don't think it wasn't like my best look for sure. But everyone has regrettable phases. And I've sort of settled into this like lots of black and sort of a little bit masculine sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
like the flannel and stuff like that. But not when I decide not. Also tank tops as well, that kind of thing.
Tank tops are great.
I don't know. It all depends on like the shape of you, right? When it comes to clothing,
Mm-hmm.
that's the important part. And finding the thing that works for you specifically is like really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if that's important to you, if it's not, whatever, let your flag fly, you know? Um, but I always find like there's just, there's a certain vibe of like, okay, this totally works or
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't. And it's not super tangible sometimes. Ash, please stop me from talking. Say
Yeah,
something.
so I think I had a similar experience. I had a lot of support in the first like few months. I say support. I had enough female friends around me telling me that everything I was buying looked like shit.
Yeah.
Which was great. Like Sarah was great about it. I had a couple friends who like took me shopping and were like, "This will look good. This will look bad. Don't buy these. That will only last a week. You'll
It's
wear
always
this
super
once and
helpful.
hate it." Um, which is all great. Um, and I sort of went through again a similar path of starting out like really femme and not being able to pull it off because I didn't have like a feminine like body shape at the time. Um, and then going through for a long time, my thing was like really short shorts. I don't
I
know
never
why they look
never
terrible.
never got into that. Yeah,
Yeah. I still have a couple pairs that I bring out in the summer, but now I'm just like, nope, nope. I can't be bothered to shave my legs anymore, honestly.
yeah, yeah.
So much effort.
I'm one of those people that even in the harshest of harsh weather, I'm wearing like jeans, like
Hmm.
long pants, like
Yeah,
always. Doesn't matter how hot it is.
yeah.
Like never anything else, basically. Almost never anyway.
Hmm.
Um
Yeah,
yeah.
I think right now I've gotten to the point of like where I am. I'm happy in this kind of oscillating between like soft butch, like queer look, which I like. Um, And occasionally I will like high fem it up. Like
I mean,
I
Ash,
will,
you got the hair for it. I'm just, you
yeah.
know,
This was
not
great.
not that I want to
This was
make any
fantastic.
particular comments, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm worried that in like a month or so I'm gonna get a job where I'm gonna have to have a normal
oh
haircut and
no.
have to wear like suits. It's not working
The
for me.
horror.
So a question I have, because I just moved back in with my parents, which meant I had to like shrink my wardrobe.
Sure.
How much of your like old guy clothing do you still have?
I have a single item.
Oh yeah.
I have a single item. Do you want to see what it is? I have to get up to get it, but I could show you what it is.
Yeah. You do that.
Hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. Ash, entertain everyone.
Hi everyone. I'm very entertaining. So I have, while Elf is getting her thing, I have a bunch of shirts that I still wear as pajamas, that I kept, but I just got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. That I threw it in a charity bag and threw it out the window. And yeah. Hi Elf.
Okay. So it's this. It's just a shirt.
That's not a guy shirt.
Yeah,
that's,
it is.
I've
had this for literally years.
That's just a check shirt.
Literally years. But that's it. That's the only
most lesbian piece of clothing I've ever seen.
It's the only thing left. It's the only thing left of my male wardrobe.
Yeah, so I was saying while you were up, I have a handful of like t-shirts that I still wear as pajamas. Like, because I used to wear really baggy clothes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. First off, this has a picture of John Green's face on it, and I love it. I'm not gonna throw it away. And it's like huge. I don't know why, but I used to wear shirts that were like 3 sizes too big for me.
But I also think that might be a thing. Like when you think when I think about my experience as well, like I did not give a single shit about my own like look, or well-being, or style, or even just like taking care of myself in like the most basic of ways. I just didn't before I started my transition. And I think that's sort of like a theme, you know?
Yeah, I think the only thing I really
sort of follow through.
The only thing that I really took seriously before I transitioned was like formal clothes. Like, I love a good suit. I spent £300 on a suit, and I'm planning on getting that suit retailored so I can start wearing it again.
Fair enough.
I love like really formal clothes.
I spend all my formal clothes budget on LARP clothes. I have lots of robes and cloaks and stuff.
I have so many dresses. I have like all my dresses hung up on my wall now, but I'm like, I just need more like parties to go to wear them all. But yeah, I did a big clean out before I moved back here of a bunch of like old jeans that I haven't worn in years, and like sports clothes where I'm like, I don't think I need to wear these anymore because I can like get away with like running leggings and tank tops. And that was really cathartic to just chuck it all in like either a bin bag or a charity bag, depending on how good condition it was in, and just get rid of it.
The thing for me was that I moved like soon after I decided I was gonna full-time this business, and so like all my stuff just got left behind basically. I brought like the thin wardrobe that I had, and then had to fill it out or I would have nothing to wear. So I would still call my wardrobe, in terms of like variety of things and like depth of things, like fairly sparse, and only recently have I started buying things I actually really like. It's been how many years? Like 3.5 years ish, a little bit more. I don't really keep, lots of people keep track of the time by like exact dates and stuff of like how long it's been and stuff. I do not do that. I just let it ride.
The only way I get that is when Facebook reminds me what day I did things, and I'm like, oh, that means it's been this many years.
It's been this many years, yeah. But so like only just recently have I started to find my like groove, the things that I like and stuff. And hey, maybe it's another phase, but you know what? All of life is phases.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of the way you want to dress or the way you want to, present yourself or so forth. But I love that. I love that like gothy, grungy look.
Yeah,
That's
no, you put it
my
off.
jam.
It's good.
It's kind of my jam. I love it. Once I dyed my hair darker, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
All of it. Come here. That's my current zone, certainly. Yeah.
I kind of, the only thing that really, when I move away from my like soft butch like look, is when thigh highs are involved.
Oh yeah.
Like I live for that like 2 inches of thigh between the bottom of a skirt and the top of a sock, and I'm like,
believe that'd be referred to as the absolute territory. I don't know. There's something like that.
It's probably like got a name.
Thing. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's not my vibe, but I get it.
So why don't we? I feel like it's important to discuss some like tropes in
let's do it.
Trans fashion.
Let's do it.
And obviously you are today wonderfully displaying one of the standard tropes of not just trans fashion but also lesbian fashion. Of the flannel shirt over a normal t-shirt.
I do not identify as a lesbian.
That's fine.
Just saying. But yes, you're right. The flannel shirt definitely kind of a trope.
I have no idea where it comes from.
It's a comfortable garment. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like vaguely familiar. Okay. There's a certain amount of like new thing anxiety that goes into so much of like wearing the stuff that you buy. And like flannel shirts are so safe. They're just they're so safe, and it's great. They're all super good, super comfy. These ones especially, these new ones I got for Christmas, this one and like the green one. Oh, they're so comfy. I love them.
Yeah. It took me like 3 years to buy one because I for the longest time I was like scared to
like
move back into like more mask clothing.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
But when I bought my first one, I was like, this is fantastic. I can like finally layer my clothes properly, and I immediately bought like 2 more.
Yeah, I think there is also like that part of the curve, right? That curve of like, I'm scared of this stuff and I'm nervous about buying things, and now I'm like hyper femme and like I probably shouldn't go back down this slope, but then you do and you're like, this is way better.
Yeah, I think you get to a point where you're once you get comfortable with
your like yourself,
with yourself and the way like probably the way your body has changed in response to like medication. Like I feel more comfortable wearing like jeans and t-shirts now just because they fit me better than they did a year ago.
Yeah.
I didn't have to like fake a bunch of stuff.
I'm sorry, total side note, totally not on topic at all, but you reminded me of something that I think chat would find hilarious, so I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
When I was visiting my family for Christmas, one of my sisters was like, how did you get all the boobs in the family? That's impossible. I like 100%. It's true. Weird, right?
Weird.
There you go.
Weird. I see. I keep getting this to bounce off your weird and unrelated point. I keep getting told, like I get worried about like my boobs. Like I'm like I kind of want them to grow faster. And Sarah's like, don't worry, all the women in your family have huge tits. And I was like, don't tell me that. Like I don't want to think about my mum's boobs, please. Anyway.
Okay, sorry, I derailed us with my comment, but it was just it was very humorous to me that came up.
Okay, so next trope.
Yeah.
What is it about chokers?
I think there's a certain degree of practicality there. Any detail away from the neck in terms of like the actual neck. Is beneficial, and when you're looking at yourself, I think because it draws the eye away from certain things that like present as masculine, it makes you feel better about how you look, and so you do it more. I mean, it's just like a, and it's
absolutely a great point, but it's also totally a kink thing.
I mean, you're right. Yeah. I was trying to step around that, but you know, if you just want to like stand on the landmine, that's fine. Go ahead. You're welcome to do so.
I think it's something that plays into. So there's one other thing that I think comes into it, in that chokers were a thing in the 90s when a lot of the trans women in the culture that we're in, who were like 20-somethings, were kids and teenagers in the 90s when chokers were a thing, and we couldn't wear chokers because they were a girl thing. And now that they've come back around into the fashion,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's like a nostalgia thing, but nostalgia for something we couldn't have.
Man, nostalgia for something we couldn't have. That's a feeling I know pretty well. In general. Speaking of like clothing and so forth, the school I went to was like a private school, and they had the uniforms, you know, like with the blazers and ties and shit like that. Every Halloween, every time I got the chance, girl uniform, every time.
Yeah. Yeah, we had uniforms at my school, but they were like, everyone had the same uniform. Like the only difference was the girls were allowed to wear skirts.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same, except the ties were different and you know, stuff like that. All right, what other tropes do we have, Ash? There's got to be some.
Yeah, I think.
What are we missing? Because we got chokers, flannel.
Yeah, I think I did one when I shaved half my head.
I think yes. I think that I was gonna say, I didn't want to like call you out or anything, but it's definitely a trope, the like side shaved hair thing.
Yeah, I definitely bought into that. Like I've seen plenty of, it's something that plenty of non-trans people do as well.
Sure.
But
yeah,
it's definitely big in like queer circles to have like a shaved side. Mine is getting too long now. I need to get it buzzed again. But actually going to the hairdressers and getting that done is so much effort.
I think that's just like a queer thing too. Like, there's a lot of like queer community around that kind of stuff, and like queer visibility in general is a thing that like people play on, where it becomes like, this is part of my identity, and like if you can interpret some things about who I might be when you look at me, you know, then
that's totally real.
Sweet. Just like I want everybody to know that I'm dead inside when they look at me, you know. It's the same deal. I feel you.
Yeah, I definitely feel like as I've moved from, I think that if you had asked me 3 years ago, I would have said that eventually I wanted to like go stealth. I don't think that's me anymore, and now I'm one of these like trans people who is just like really loud about it. And I think having like a crazy hairstyle is one of those things where I can just be really loud about my identity.
I totally understand what you're saying. And by the way, stealth referring to the idea that like just for people who might not know, referring to the idea of like passing so much, quote unquote, as like a assigned female at birth person, that nobody questions it ever, and that you never bring it up, and what have you, like hiding your transness under a veil of secrecy. You know, think of it like Harry Potter Invisibility Cloak, but with societal norms instead.
Yes, absolutely.
I sort of feel you on that. Like, I remember a time where I was like, maybe one day people won't notice. I have since decided that's bullshit. And like, I do not care. Not even one bit. But yeah, like last generation, like that stuff mattered a lot more, you know, like being able to hide your identity, and like keep yourself safe, because being safe is the first and foremost thing of any situation ever. Being safe.
I think
it's much less of a problem now than it was. It's still a problem, much less of one.
I think there's a lot of like privilege showing when you see um trans women in particular who decry the idea of passing. Like there's a lot of like anti-passing
Oh, are we talking about like the passing privilege kind of stuff?
No, I mean that passing privilege is a thing, and that's
I
something
mean, it
we
is a
can
thing.
talk about
It's
later.
totally a
Talk
thing.
about later. I mean that there was a lot of there's been a lot of articles and things that have pushed for the idea that we should just get rid of passing from like the trans vernacular because it's a bad idea and it poisons people's minds and stuff. But I think there's privilege in that we both live in societies where we can kind of get away with
not
passing 100%. But there are people who live in countries and places in the world where not passing and being clocked as trans is a death sentence.
Yeah, like their lives depend on it.
Yeah,
and that sucks.
Yeah,
right. And I totally understand what you mean in terms of like in our situation. I understand why people would say like passing is a shitty term and like it's like yeah, I mean it drags us all down to this level of like, you know, cis normativity, you know, and so forth. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like in other places that, you know, maybe don't get as much consideration in terms of like loud vocal trans minorities, it fucking matters.
Yeah.
And just to touch on what I said there when I was trying to interpret what you were saying, you're right. Passing privilege is totally a thing. There are people who are capable of doing so from, you know, before they're even started on drugs and stuff, like you know, and that changes your experience, as everything does, right? Like in that, like if you're super visibly trans, you're more likely to get shit for that,
absolutely.
You know, from whoever would give you said shit, which sucks. Like walking down the street, maybe they wouldn't notice me, but they might notice someone else, you know. And that's basically what it means, like you know, have that you know, low level stealth privilege.
I think it's one of those things that I've kind of learned to use to my advantage because as sort of generally a visibly passing trans woman, it means I get to use that platform of relative safety to project my ideals as a trans person and raise up the voices of the people around me that might not have that privilege, which is sort of what privilege is for, really, I think.
Yeah, basically. If you're aware of your privilege, anyway. Changing tack a little bit. Back to clothes, dear Ash. Now here's my question, so to speak. What's your like starting out advice? Like for people who are watching this right now, who are like, man, I don't know what to do when it comes to like buying stuff, you know, for myself and like what I think I should go for and like that kind of thing. What's your practical advice in that regard? And I'll try and fill in as well, like what I think. But
I think for me, I would two suggestions. Buy cheap, like because you're gonna be rebuying shit. Like your body is gonna change, and so the jeans you bought when you first transitioned are not gonna fit you a year later. So don't like go out and spend a bunch of money on a bunch of really expensive shit. Most importantly, don't go and spend a bunch of money on loads of really expensive underwear because you're gonna have to throw it out, and no one wants to have to do that. You don't want to spend 60 quid on a nice Ann Summers set and have to throw it away because it doesn't fit anymore. Trust me, don't do it. My heart broke.
Ash, please.
use your own suffering so that others may not suffer the
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, so buy cheap, and use fitting rooms. Like, go to stores where that's not a problem. Generally in the UK, you won't have any trouble going into 99% of the stores in the country and using fitting rooms that you identify with.
And that's something I wanna touch on as well. Like the idea of that fear, that fear of going to like a physical store and like shopping for physical clothes in a physical space and like feeling really self-conscious about that. Let me tell you something, and I know this from experience. 99.9% of like retail workers and folks like that, they don't care. They really don't. And it's easy for me to say on sort of like a back end, so to speak, to be like, you're not going to get trouble from folks looking to sell things to you. It's just not a thing, right? Like, it's just not going to be a problem. To add on to what you were saying about like buy cheap, buy stuff that you're going to replace and so on. My first sort of like stop and my first like place to go is like the more generic places, like Old Navy, or like even like some Walmart kind of shit. Like if you're American, I don't know what retailers you guys have, but sort of like the more generic, more like less high end stuff, like
yeah, just buy a bunch of
four
like
shirts,
plain
four shirts for
t-shirts.
$20. Yeah, kind of stuff.
I think,
and if you see something you like and you want and you think it'll make you happy, go for it, because happiness is fleeting.
Yeah. I think maybe
sometimes you make a good choice on that regard.
There's the problem with like the internet culture and just being able to like go on Amazon and buy anything, which is troubling with for trans people, because you need to know that the shit you're buying is going to fit you.
It's going to fit you, yeah.
And so that's if you need to like take a friend out with you, do that. But it's useful just to go out to different stores and try shit on, because you're gonna learn all the crazy lovely things about women's sizing.
You'll learn quick too, I promise.
It's maddening. I'm a 6 in some stores and a 10 in other stores. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, it's how it goes. Experienced advice is also very helpful. We can talk to you in a general sense from here about like what best practices are and so forth and what have you, and like don't be nervous and stuff. But you know what's even better than that? Somebody with you who maybe knows what they're talking about, somebody you like and trust, and who is your friend and who will help you. I promise you it will make the first couple of times you're going out and having retail anxiety way easier. It did for me anyway. I don't know about everybody. Maybe some people like to shop alone and deal with their own shit. That's fine. But for me, it was a super super big help.
Yeah, nowadays I just take Sarah out with me because she just shops vicariously through me.
Yeah.
She'll just be like, "You should buy this. You should buy this." It's like, okay, I'll buy those things.
I think there is a certain degree of like, and we've been talking about like buy practical, buy things you're going to replace and like so forth. But I think on the opposite end of the spectrum, which is completely contrary advice, but I also think it's important. If you see something you like, take a fucking risk with it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Try it. Take that thing off the shelf, and instead of being super nervous about it and being like, no, I'll come back and I'll never touch it again, sort of thing, take it, try it, see if it works, then buy it.
Yeah.
100%. Like, do these things. It's all rite of passage shit. Like, we all go through that situation where we're like, oh man, that looks really nice, and it's hanging up there on that shelf, and I'll have to ask someone to help me get it down or whatever, and oh, it's so much trouble, and I don't want to be that person, I don't want to be judged, or like whatever, but just do it. Just do it.
So I have that
Oh,
exact story. So when I visited Sarah in Tennessee, and this was like 6 months after I came out, so I was still in like egg phase of really working out what fit me.
Yeah.
And we went into Hot Topic, and I felt like I had just 100% found everything in life I needed.
I totally understand.
And there was
it strikes in my heart, Ash.
there was a TARDIS like dress they had, which I have on my shelf here, which I was like, oh my god. Like I looked in my wallet and I saw I had the dollars, and I was like, I could buy this right now, but it was too high up, and I was like, I don't want to ask them to come and get it down for me, because I wasn't like I looked horrible that day. I wasn't like trying to like pass, and like I had to like go to Sarah and be like, can you ask them to get,
Can you just do it, please?
get that down, please, so I can try it on. But I bought it and I was very happy with it. So that's great. Hot Topic is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Every time I go to the States, I'm like, I have to find a Hot Topic.
It's too much a problem for me. I need to not go in there sometimes just to avoid buying things that I.
Yeah.
But
See, what I find really
and
weird.
this is the thing, right? Like everyone who's older than us is going like, really, you know, like
No.
that's.
No. So when I went to America last year, I went to LA with Sarah and her parents. Her parents are in their 50s. They fucking loved Hot Topic. They went in there, and her dad bought like free hoodies from Hot Topic with like Doctor Who shit and Stranger Things shit and Star Wars shit on it. And I was like, yes, just 100%. Everyone should love Hot Topic.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue with it because I agree with you. Like, I don't know. I think it's just like, I don't know how to put it. It's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like I'm being judged just for shopping here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like, I love everything in the store, but I feel like I'm being judged just for shopping. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, and this is something that I think you and I are similarly, what would you call it? Like, graced by.
Mm-hmm.
We are within like size ranges that exist on shelves.
Yeah, absolutely.
For women,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I can even buy shoes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like of appropriate sizes.
Yeah.
I am very, very lucky.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I appreciate that luck. Thank whatever being, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Though you could have from the start would have been nice.
Just from the start would have been fantastic.
You know, I get it. So I think we benefit from that definitely to a certain degree. And I feel for our larger sistren, you know.
Though I will say, and maybe we can broach this into a larger topic, like setting expectations is important. And if you're like 6'2" or 6'3", just remember that Gwendolyn Christie is like 6'3", and yes,
I have a type. It's that type.
Mm-hmm.
I would. All right. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. Move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yes, setting expectations is important.
Mm-hmm.
Know yourself and what you find looks good on you, right?
Yeah.
I found very quickly that like I didn't have a huge problem with like thinner straps on tank tops and stuff because I don't have like super broad shoulders.
Yeah.
There are certain dresses that like I was like, nope, fucking never, you know. Whereas it would look so good on someone differently shaped than I, you know.
Yeah.
And these are the difficult things to advise specifically because I only know what looks good on me.
Yeah.
You know, and people who are shaped like me because
Mhm.
I have bought things for me.
Yeah.
And you will go through some various experiments as to like, wow, I thought this would look good, but holy shit, it doesn't look good on me.
Nope. Yeah.
Everybody has that experience. Every single person.
Yeah, in terms of like shoulders, I think I have like broader shoulders than most women like my size, and so I tend to. For me, it's either like a tank top, or like this kind of t-shirt is fine.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
won't go with something that's like a half.
That has like
sleeve.
longer sleeves. Yeah,
Like it's either like this, a tank top, or like long sleeve.
or like the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have that same sort of vibe. Like I want the half a sleeve thing.
Doesn't really work for me, and I've just 100% avoid anything that does the like ruffle thing on shoulders. It's never gonna work. It's never gonna work.
Keep in mind that when I said everyone struggles with this kind of thing, I mean literally everyone. I'm not even talking about like just trans people anymore.
Yeah.
Like finding stuff that looks good on you and fits you, and the type of thing that looks good on you and fits you,
Mhm.
is a universal experience. We
Yeah.
just have to do it more than once,
Mhm.
right? If you were a fashion conscious, person before your transition, I wasn't. I just wore t-shirts and jeans and hated myself.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Self-loathing is a great style, personally. No, it's not. It's not really. But yeah, so that's like it's like a universal experience. Yeah, everybody has to deal with that kind of thing. And it just becomes a matter of like, I don't want to say trial and error, but if you don't try, you'll never know if it's an error or not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. So Elf, I have a question.
ask away, dear Ash.
So given like unlimited budget, like perfect stylist, what is it your like ideal like I'm having a massive birthday party and this is the theme and this is the thing I'm gonna wear?
I mean, if it's a party, it has to be like LARP themed. Ash, I'm a fucking nerd. It doesn't really help us like style wise. I've got like cloaks and robes and stuff that are like my favorite things that I own. Right? Like that doesn't work.
I should have known. I should have known.
Work. But what I will tell you is that if I had an unlimited budget, there are 2 stores where I buy things a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you want to emulate the Distracted Elf style, which I mean is just like grungy goth style, I've been buying things recently at Stitches. I don't know if you know that store. It is the store that they here. I don't know, but I buy a lot of stuff at Stitches, and of course, Hot Topic vibes. That's kind of my jam.
Yeah.
So those 2 stores get a lot of my business these days.
Cool. I think for me, like, the one thing I've been chasing and never been able to get to is like pinup style, like fashion.
Okay. Are we talking like hot, like
50s, not like housewife, but like the like calendar girl.
Yeah,
type
I get
stuff.
it. I get it. I see where you're going.
Yeah, like Diva's outfit in the 50s, the cruiser skin in Overwatch. That kind of vibe. I've been chasing it for a while, and I haven't been able to quite like spend enough money to get the outfits I need, and I haven't worked out how to roll my hair properly. But yeah, that kind of if I could do like a photo,
what you're going for,
yeah, like if I could do like ideal photo shoot, would just be like a full on like pin-up shoot. Would be amazing.
I'm into it. Here's a question.
Yeah.
We've been talking about clothes, but what about makeup? I say wearing none today.
I've gone through a few different like phases with my makeup. I was obsessed with eyeshadow,
I mean, it's a simple trick that changes your look a great deal.
Yeah, but I couldn't quite get it to work. And I finally realized the reason it wasn't working for me is because I don't have the right eyelids. Like, I have pretty hooded eyes, so anything I do just gets hidden and then smudged. And I've pretty much moved now. I went through like a red lipstick phase. I have a bunch of really nice reds, but now I'm like, I'm just gonna wear like blacks and like really dark blues and purples, which is great, which I love. I get told a lot that I have great eyelashes, but I'm like, I don't know how.
So do I. I get told that too.
So I think the thing is, I think this is a trans woman thing because we didn't start using mascara when we were 12. Our eyelashes haven't been like destroyed by 15 years of mascara wear, and in 15 years we'll probably have shitty eyelashes.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. For me, it's one of those things where it's like, it is probably the path that I have the least experience with. Makeup is the thing that has always daunted me as a subject of study, quote unquote. But I've just recently like expanded into buying stuff that's like a little bit more on the like expensive side, and it makes a ton of difference.
It really does, yeah.
So much difference. The eyeliner that I like, the eyeliner that I used to use, like this pharmacy brand shit, and then like the new stuff that I've got, like, it makes a ton of difference. Of course, like, don't start with that stuff if you're
but buy some like a basic foundation that matches your skin tone. Like this is one of those things that it's go and ask the ladies that are manning.
Yeah, just get them to help you.
Just get them to help you because they will find the foundation that actually matches the color of your face. You don't want to get something that's too light or too dark because it's going to look wrong.
Also, if you happen to be a sufferer of dark facial hair kind of business, as I am, it comes in like dark brown, basically, not a great color for a shadow. But if you are, my fervent advice to you, my dear friends, is to cover it up. Use dark circle concealer. Yeah. Like the stuff that you use for like the bags under your eyes, because it is color correcting for blues and blacks. You know, like it's color correcting for dark blue style colors. And so it will hide dark facial hair stubble coming in way better than like some base like concealer, basically. Yeah. If you use dark circle concealer, it will work really well. I promise you that. It took me a long time to like figure that shit out, but it works.
It was actually something I started doing like immediately. I got gifted a bunch of makeup from my partner. It was like, I don't use any of this shit. Like, try a bunch of it out and see what happens. And yeah, I hit like doing like concealer on my upper lip and on my chin like pretty early. And that was pretty important. I don't have to do it anymore because I had lasers shot in my face.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Which is pretty great. Yeah, makeup's difficult. I would say, I think, yeah, you hit on like the two like big jumping points in makeup is buying like expensive makeup and buying brushes. Like learning how to use various makeup brushes is pretty good. I've been meaning to
can't say that I have any experience with that personally because I just don't.
I bought a really crappy set which I'm still using now, a little bit after I first transitioned. I pretty much only use like the foundation brush now, which really needs to be cleaned. But it's so much easier to like blend all of the like layers of shit when you have a brush than just doing it all with your hands.
Yeah.
And then you don't end up with like makeup all over your hands as well, which is great.
Never been much of a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say that I've been like, oh no, that's a thing that's problematic. And there's nothing wrong with like, you know, when you start out using your hands, makeup is sort of gonna be okay with that generally. All right. I think we've hit our most of our like practical advice that we were gonna list off for today. Should we open it up? Like,
I think
anybody has anything that they wanna.
Yeah, I think we can open it up to questions, and I will keep my eye out because it seems there are some interesting voices in chat today, but I'm sure we can pick out the
rowdy folk.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep our eye out.
Yeah.
And ask away, my dear friends. We are here. Anything that we have not covered or that you would like to cover, please go 100%. I'm into it. And if it's not necessarily about exactly what we're talking about, we could probably swing it.
Yeah.
You know, if you have burning questions in your soul, we are here to help. How long have both of us been on hormones, Ash? And yeah, I think we covered this in the first episode, but
I'm
thank you, Sunichi.
2 years and 1 year now, so 2 years on
2 years and 1 year.
2 years on estrogen, 1 year on T blockers.
Oh, I was gonna say that's 3 years, Ash. Yeah, it's been about 3-ish years for me too. Like three-ish years for both. I just recently started taking progesterone as well, which has affected breast growth somewhat. But regardless, that's a separate thing. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like 3 years for both of us, pretty much, I think. Ish. What else have we got? Ofo said something. Ofo's usually briefly touched on clothing advice you get from friends. You can go into more details on like advice we got from friends. The biggest advice that I got from friends, Ofo, my dear friend, is that don't dress like your age, you know?
Yes. So much.
Don't dress like you're 16. Dress like you're 22. You know?
You're gonna want to dress like you're 16.
You're gonna want to dress like you're 16. But that's not gonna be a good look. It's not gonna be a good look for you. Like shopping in regards to like your actual age, and how that will look on you is like very important. The idea of like, you know, what that maturity looks like, quote unquote, or how that will look different. These are intangible pieces of advice, right? Like it's very hard for me to say like the difference between one and the other is exactly this, but that's the thing, right? Like dress your age, go for your age. Is the biggest piece of practical advice that I got. I don't know about you, Ash. Like,
yeah, I mean, it really helps like transitioning at university in that I had a bunch of people who were my age and on my budget around me that I could just be like, I like what she's wearing, I'm gonna go buy that. I don't know if it's a good habit or a bad habit, but I people watch like crazy whenever I'm in public, and so I find myself looking at what people are wearing.
That's
all
a good
the time.
look. That's a good look.
Yeah.
I saw a statement more than a question, but we can turn it into a question. Jewelry, rings, they elude me. Accessories, Ash? Accessories?
Yeah, so we touched on chokers earlier, and like I am all about buying chokers. I love them. I don't know what advice I have with jewelry. It's just like buy the shit you like. Like the only rings I wear are my engagement ring and the ring that keeps my engagement ring from falling off. But necklaces, I just buy shit that has like stuff on it you like.
Stuff on it you like.
If you like Pokemon, buy a fucking necklace with a Pikachu on it. People are gonna ask you about it, and it's gonna be great.
I'm a terrible person to ask about jewelry because looking at myself right now, I am wearing literally no jewelry at all. I don't wear anything like rings. I don't even have my ears pierced. There's nothing.
I've thought about getting my ears pierced, but I get like regular ear infections, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to mess with that.
Yeah, so I would say keep it simple. Like, you don't want to go overboard. Don't like fill your hand with glorious golden jewelry. I don't think that's a look that goes with anyone. At least for me. Sunichu, not the kind of question you should ask just for posterity, and this is gonna come up a lot, but like asking people about their channels in general is not very polite.
Yeah.
It's not very polite. But that's okay. We don't mind a little stumbling here and there.
So a while back, Hidetsugu.
Hidetsugu?
Yeah. That's the name I don't know how to pronounce.
Continue.
Asked with Laser and Electro, is it like one session or multiple? I had 7 sessions of Laser. You generally have them once every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks. And you'll note you start noticing results after the first like 2 or 3 sessions. And then after 7 or 8, they'll start to like be permanent. I went from shaving every day to shaving like once every week or so, which is pretty good for me. I'm happy with that. If I had the money to do more, I might do more. But I don't know. I'm happy now.
Claire by Moonlight asks, what are your experiences with hair stuff? Very broad question. My personal experiences are I'm terrified of touching it, like, at all, and I have super stylist anxiety and, like, you know, don't really do very much with it. In the time I have been taking hormones, I have never cut my hair. It has just continued to grow, and that's it. So I'm so nervous about how my own hair will look that I refuse to touch it. Other than the dye that I've put into it, which you know, me and my roommate did.
Yeah.
I have not touched it. What I will say is a good combination shampoo conditioner works wonders.
Yeah.
That's what I've been using anyway.
I have a lot of hair advice I can give. Now, so I was going through a minor personal breakdown before Christmas with submitting my thesis, and I felt like I need to retake control of my life. I'm going to take control of my hair, and I shaved half of it off. This was basically a problem with... Not a problem. I basically sat down and I went on Pinterest and I looked up like 100 hairstyles and I just pinned all the stuff that I liked, and then went to my hairdresser and I was like, this is the stuff that I like. What do? And that's what I did like every like 3 or 4 months. I didn't make decisions. I went to a stylist who knew what they were doing and was like, this is what I like, what's gonna work, because they'll be able to look at like the shape of your face. If you go on any website that's like how to pick your hairstyle, they're like, do you have a round face or a square face or a long face? And I'm like, I don't
know. Yeah.
What shape is my face?
What does that even mean?
So yeah, like speak to a professional stylist. And then after that, like, I would say use a separate shampoo and conditioner. It's more expensive, but I think it works better.
I've had the opposite, so I don't know. Maybe
really?
It's hair related. Yeah, I like the combination. Like one.
I tend to do like a deep condition every couple weeks. Just get like an overnight conditioner and put it in your hair, and then when you wake up, you wash it all out, and your hair is lovely and voluminous and great.
I do the for my hair, I do the shower at night, and then let it dry like naturally over the course of sleeping. And then when I wake up, it's always nice and fluffy. That's the vibe that I go for. So
Mhm.
there you go. That's my strat. Ash's
Yeah.
strat. There.
Secret Planet side. What logo is on my T-shirt? It's
It's-
the Rebel Alliance logo with the transgender flag on it. It's great. I love it.
So
I found it on Twitter.
it is hella good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Away to the Dawn says friend of theirs came out as trans, and they're having difficulty with like pronouns and like addressing them properly and stuff, and they don't want to mess it up, and it stresses them out that they'll mess it up, sort of thing.
Mhm.
My biggest piece of advice for that, my dear friend, is keep trying.
Yeah.
Do your best, practice. If you get it wrong, correct yourself. Do it again, and make sure that when you are talking about them, when you are not talking to them, that you are using the correct pronouns.
Mhm.
This is a thing that will train you to use the correct pronouns when you are thinking about them in a certain way all the time, rather than just when you're talking to them. Not to mention that like making mistakes is a thing that people do. It's real and valid. And don't go over the top with your apology. Don't like fall to your knees and stab yourself in the heart when you're like, I got it wrong.
Oh no! Oh god!
Because it just makes it worse. It just makes it worse. Don't do that. Just be like, oh wait, and then correct yourself and move on. Like, I promise you, they will feel better about it, and you will feel better about it in that circumstance.
Yeah, absolutely. I still have like friends who get it wrong, and it's always best when people don't make a big deal out of being called out. Like if I correct someone, I just want them to say sorry and like restate the thing they just said using the correct program.
It was constant with my parents over the break, where it was just like they would say the wrong thing, I would say the right thing, then they would say it again, you know. And it's not that they don't love me or that they don't accept me. It's just that they don't have practice referring to me that way.
I had to have like an actual, like I had to go up to my dad and be like, you need to like pull your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
And get this right because it's been 4 years. And he started like correcting himself now, which is great. So he's on the path.
Good. I know a lot of trans women don't like putting their hair up. Did you all have this experience from Caters? I, as I said, am foolishly afraid of changing my hairstyle in any way, and so it's always just down. Yeah. I just leave it like this all the time, basically.
I do a lot of stuff.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of putting my hair up and down and putting in a ponytail. For a while it wasn't long enough to put in a ponytail, and then I was like all about doing ponytails. I love doing like a half pony, which I can't do anymore because I only have half my hair, so it would be like a
so it's actually
pony.
Like a full one.
Yeah. But yeah, having it like down at the back and then like having half of it up in a ponytail was like a go-to look for me, especially for work where I was like, I don't want to have like my fringe all up in my face. But yeah, I love playing with my hair and doing different stuff with it, so that's never been a problem for me. I was actually excited when my hair got long enough to put it up in a ponytail because I was like, yay!
I mean, for me, it's just like I look at it and I'm like, doesn't work. Never mind. Back to down. Down is safe. Down is safe and nice. And I'm
gonna have to like fly to Canada and braid your hair.
Yeah.
Like we'll put it in like really thick like warrior braids and it will look amazing.
All right, I'm down. Whatever happens, I'm into it. Anything else we need to address? What do you think? Gosh, there's some more generic questions, but I don't know if we want to.
Yeah. So Sun's asking about like body hair growth.
It thins, but it does not go away.
Yeah. Like
when it comes to hormones, body hair is a thing that already exists. People are like, well, your facial hair stopped growing. And it's like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
The hair follicles are there. They're going to keep growing. because that's what facial hair does. That's what
Mhm.
hair does. It will thin. It will be less, but
Yeah.
it will not stop.
So one thing I have noticed, like with like my body hair, is the patterns have changed. And the kind of hair that grows has changed. So in places where I had like thick hair, I now have like downy hair.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of interesting. I don't know how that works. It's a hormone thing. So that's been interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't paid much attention to that myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's probably accurate, to be fair. I've just not looked at it that closely.
Yeah.
Necessarily. Okay. What else we got? Chat, what else you got for me? Now I'm like looking around for an elastic to see if I can do something with my hair while I'm sitting here. Now that you all think I'm terrified of it. It just doesn't look good. That's the thing. I can't find an elastic, but I do have these.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now you look like a biker.
That's the style. Right there. Alright. What do we got? Anything further? Nails, paint them. That's all you have to
the
do.
shit out of them.
I have nail polish here on my desk.
Mine are looking
put some of
shitty
that-
at the moment.
I haven't redone mine for a
Yeah.
long time.
I did mine
You
for
know-
like New Year's and I haven't cleaned them yet.
You know the reason I haven't redone mine though? I've thought about it a whole bunch of times. I can't open this.
Just this too tight.
Yeah, it won't open.
Is it a new bottle?
No, I've used it once before.
Yeah, because it might be that it's gotten some like polish
It's probably
stuck in it.
it's probably like stuck.
Like run it under hot water will probably help.
I can't believe how much of my lacking has come out in this particular episode. Like scared of doing anything with my hair. I haven't cut it for 3 years. Like can't own nail polish. Like does role playing help you with dysphoria? That's a great question, and I think it is a question that we should talk about another time.
Yes,
However.
I think that's a really
That
good,
is like a
really
that
good
is like
topic.
a deep question I could speak about for literal hours. And I'm so glad you asked it, but we'll do that another time.
Crobosaur is asking what removers we use. Just buy something that says nail polish remover. That's the only advice I have. If you want a bottle that says nail polish remover,
You guys remove nail polish? I just
wait
let
until it all
chip,
chips
I
off.
just let it chip off until it's gone, and then put more on. Oh, I'm such a mess. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. What else we got? What else? As to the questions about like sexuality and that kind of thing, the other 2 episodes have stuff about that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Check those out. The previous episodes.
Yeah, and I think I definitely have on my list of topics like relationships and
Yes,
shit.
that may
That's something
even
we're gonna
be,
talk
that may
about.
even be our next episode.
Yeah,
potentially.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're at.
I think we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've had enough. We've had enough of a rundown here. Thank you all for your
Yeah.
lovely questions. I always appreciate being able to. We always appreciate being able to answer anything that you know have to say. Do you wanna talk about when our next show is gonna be and where people can find the VODs and stuff like that?
Yeah. So the VODs are on my channel. They're both
Yeah.
the previous episodes are highlights on my channel. You don't have to be a sub to watch them, so you can find them here. They're also on my YouTube channel, which I think there is a link down in my pants somewhere. I don't know where. A mod
Okay.
Tom has linked them in chat. So they go up on my YouTube as well, assuming I remember to post them. And yeah, the next episode, I guess we could probably do.
Are we just gonna do our bi-weekly schedule?
Yeah, our bi-weekly schedule.
Not next week, but the week after.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything on the 23rd. So.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither. Let's do it. So it's gonna be the 23rd of January for our episode 4. Come back and visit us here, of course, at the same time, same place. Episode 4.
Yeah.
I have been Distracted Elf. You can find me at all the places that I live. If you Google Distracted Elf, you will find me. I promise. I'm like the only one on the internet. Yeah, so twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter @DistractedElf. And Ash?
I have been and still am Ashley Nova. This is my channel. You can follow me right here on Twitch. And you can find me on Twitter @Ashley_Nova_. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
It has been a lovely episode. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
And our agenda will continue on the 23rd.
Yeah. Cool. See you guys later. Bye.